with their quarterback. I don't know. Had you ever heard of Jeff Tuel out of Washington State? I mean, prior to this crisis of injuries that the Bills have at the quarterback spot?
No, no. I'm wondering if his college coach Mike Leach knew who he was. As a matter of fact,
well, yeah.
An interview he did where he said that he didn't win a lot of games, but something along the lines of he'll try real hard for you. One of those kind of backwards endorsements.
Aye. That's probably not what Marrone wanted to hear.
No, yeah, it wasn't the most positive of endorsements you get from a college coach. But they're in trouble. I mean, you lose E.J. Manuel, who knows how long, but either way, even him being out right now means, it stunts his progress that he's making in the preseason training camp. And then, of course, Kevin Cobb, the initial reports from that injury he suffered, that concussion he suffered, were really bad. I mean, where he didn't know where he was and I don't know the details, something like he couldn't remember his name or where he was, or, he essentially failed the heck out of that test. So, that's not positive. And then when you consider that you're down to your third quarterback, and you mentioned it's a guy that neither you nor I believe, really knew who the heck he was, that's disconcerting. That's a concern, especially when your team's already in not shambles, but not in very good shape as is. So, if I'm the Bills right now, I'm pretty concerned about the state of my franchise.
Yeah. All right. So. What do you do if you're in Marrone's shoes? I guess other than keep your fingers crossed, what can you do?
I think you just you keep your fingers crossed and hope that, you can get your guys on board to realizing that it doesn't always happen overnight in this league. This team, this franchise has been out of the playoffs since 1999, and, it's not going to necessarily change this season. You don't want them thinking that specifically. You need them thinking the fact that every year for 9 straight years, at least one team has gone from last place in the division to first place in the division, and the Bills can be that team this year regardless of what's happening in August and September. And I think the second thing is what I just mentioned. It's August and September. It's early, and teams go through all sorts of trials and tribulations this early in seasons and before seasons start, and sometimes that pickier lumps a little bit early karmatically than the rest of the teams in the league. Almost everyone's going to deal with some big injuries, most of them to the quarterback position as well over the course of this season. Maybe this is when the Bills are going to go through their growing pains. Maybe it'll mean, a tougher start to the season than they would have liked. Maybe it means in October, November, and December, they're a little healthier. Maybe E.J. Manuel has come into his own and learned from this process, or Kevin Cobb is back on his game by that point. So you got to consider that as much as it's not a long season, it sort of is. 17 weeks. It goes by quick, but, there's a lot of time for readjustments in October and November. And I think that's really Doug Marrone just has to tell his guys, one step at a time, we're building this up slowly. It may happen this year. We can make it happen this year, but there's a chance it doesn't. If it doesn't, we're going to keep building toward 2014.